Hello, Africa. You're welcome to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. This is the show that tackles issues pertaining to women as we contribute to national development. It's another Wednesday evening, and it's really exciting to be able to meet with you. Last week, it was Breastfeeding Week 2020, and we had a great time talking about breastfeeding, and the comments have been wonderful. We've had a lot of mothers and women talking about how the episode was able to impact them and how they are making use of the information that we gave to them. This is the kind of story we want to hear, and we want to say keep sharing those comments and those feedback with us, and it will really be a very good relationship we'll be building with you. Okay, so this week we have another interesting topic. I won't talk about it right now. First of all, I want to actually give credit to all the sponsors who have made it possible for me to be here today. First on the list is Voltic. And Voltic says that in our quest to help create a world without waste, Voltic Ghana Limited is fronting various initiatives to create an ecosystem that drives collective, sustainable actions towards managing our post-consumer plastics. New Voltic Twist bottle has 7% less, making it eco-friendly. Enjoy, twist, recycle. Voltic naturally. Voltic has actually shown support for us all the time, and really want to say a very big thank you to. Okay, so Voltic has always been my hydrating partner, and you wouldn't say that you've not seen this new bottle of Voltic. This is the new bottle of Voltic where you just twist and then you get to recycle and enjoy your Voltic. So please ensure that whenever you go out to look for water, you are picking Voltic, definitely. All right, so it's Insurance Month here in GMA-BC, and we always go with a particular theme in GMA. And the theme has always been interesting. If you've been following us, we've done several ones. The one we did last month was about the automobile. And this time around, we are looking at insurance. And partnering us is the Hollard Insurance. Hollard is actually been with us throughout the entire month of August and will continue to educate myself and yourself and everyone who is watching us on GMA-BC platforms, eTVY FM, Happy FM. Will continue to educate you on how best to invest in insurance and even so many packages that you never thought existed. Hollard has got them all. So if you want to be part of this program, just make a call to us, and then we'll ensure that you're going to partake in this particular month of insurance that we're going to be putting across. And then we also have Chana Shito, who is also a solid partner on this program. Chana Shito is your #1 pepper sauce. So if you know you like Shito and you haven't tried Chana Shito, please find Chana Shito wherever you can. We have it in Max Smart. Go over there and pick up Chana Shito, and definitely you're going to enjoy your pepper sauce. You're going to enjoy that meal which you want to take with Chana Shito. We also have another sponsor who is a caterer, and that's Albi Bite. Look for Albi Bite on Instagram, and you would never, ever say that you're regretting calling Albi Bite. Albi Bite is into catering services, so if you want to place that order for your naming ceremony, for your wedding, funerals, whatever the case may be, Albi Bite is definitely available to help you in that food need of yours. Is it drinks, cakes, pastries, wache? God, Albi Bites will sort you out, definitely. And my hair is beautifully provided by Awo's Hair. Look for her on Instagram, Awo_hair, and you're going to see the variety she's going to provide you with. If you want it in brown color, red color, whatever texture you want, Awo's Hair will sort you out. So, right now that I've given credit to all our sponsors, I'll be taking you over to the 60 seconds update for you to know what's happening in Ghana and across the world. Do stay tuned.
First Lady supports Gamashi Homowo Festival. The First Lady, Mrs. Rebecca Kufuado, on Tuesday paid a courtesy call on the Ga chiefs within the Greater Accra region to show them solidarity as they prepared for their upcoming Homowo Festival. She also distributed assorted food items to the chiefs and the people to enable them to mark the annual festival in a grand style. At a gathering to mark the beginning of the celebration, the First Lady reiterated the importance of traditional festivals such as Homowo, which she said offered the platform to deepen ancestral knowledge and strengthen kinship bonds. She wished all the Ga people the very best of the celebrations and urged them to do well to mark it amidst the observance of the COVID-19 hygienic protocols and to limit the sprinkling of pepple ritual to their homes. Gender Ministry to close down witches' camps. Deputy Minister. The Deputy Gender Minister says her ministry is working to close down all witches' camps and control harmful traditional practices inimical to the well-being of women and girls in the country. Mrs. Prempe, however, lauded the police administration for the swift investigations and arrest it had made so far in connection with the murder of 19-year-old at Kafaba in the East Gonja district of the Savannah region. As the embodiment of the people, Mrs. Prempe indicates that the traditional authorities, religions, and opinion leaders had the enormous responsibility of helping control the surging human rights abuses and violations among women and girls in this society. Mrs. Prempe called on the media and all stakeholders to be on the watch and report any form of domestic violence against women and girls to the relevant institutions for the necessary action to be taken. My failed plastic surgery led me into depression. Popular Ghanaian entrepreneur Confidence Hogan has opened up on the long-rumored secrets surrounding a series of failed plastic surgeries she had engaged herself in. Confidence has confessed that she hated her tiny breast, which had a huge areola, and to make matters worse, they were sagging despite her young age. The procedure she went in for with regards to the breast implant was said to have worsened her plight and forced her to have a second surgery after breast continued sagging. She went in for a second operation, but that also failed. After all these life experiences, life taught her a bitter lesson. Confidence is advising ladies who wish to have surgeries to do some research, as well as demand for photos of the surgeon's previous works, just to be sure of what they are going into.
And you are welcome back. This is the African Women's Voices Show if you're just joining us. And this show is a show that tackles issues pertaining to women as we contribute to national development. So now we're going to be discussing the business of the day. And the business of the day is around rebranding yourself as today's woman. So we're going to be finding out where the woman's brand used to be in the past, where it is now, and where it's going. So did you ever think that a woman can rebrand herself? If you never thought so, today we want to educate you on that. And if you already knew, we're going to be adding on to what you already know. So to join us to talk about this particular issue of interest to women is a very good friend of mine. She's Faith. Faith, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you see, she just talks gently. She's not as, loud as I am. She's a calm type. But, one good thing about her is that she's so loaded. And when she begins to talk about what she knows, you would really enjoy her. Faith,
Yes.
you have a group that you actually have opened up yourself. Could you tell our guests and our audience actually what it is that you do in your group?
All right, okay. Thank you very much, Hennes, for the opportunity. Rebranded Lady, it's a feminine group. But this feminine group is not the one that war against men. Let me put it right yet. So Rebranded Lady is actually a group that seeks the welfare of children and then women as well. So what we do at Rebranded Lady is that we have about 8 initiatives we run that are all active and running perfectly, that we provide skill training for women that are unemployed. We have an orphanage program, and we are setting up an orphanage at Mall, where we have about 20 children we look after under the organization, and we do a lot of things as Rebranded Lady. Yes, so that is just a little about Rebranded Lady. We'll get
nice.
to talk
So
more.
now that you know that the name of her group is the Rebranded Lady, you could tell that she's just the right person to tell us about how to rebrand yourself as a woman, because she's already in the field. So what does it really mean to rebrand yourself?
All right, before we can start discussing about rebranding, we have to look at what a brand is. You know, a woman's brand is how people perceive her, how you are perceived. And then your brand is what distinguishes you from other people. And so but the one thing about a woman's brand is that over the years, there are certain things that had not worked properly for women in our society. What am I trying to say? That society thinks women cannot cross a certain limit. There are a lot of limitations that things work against a woman. So the brand had not been so well for women. And we are saying that if your brand is not good, then you have to think about rebranding. And so rebranding is changing or demystifying the myth around womanhood, that a woman cannot cross a certain boundary, that a woman cannot achieve certain things, that a woman cannot be economically independent. Rebranding is changing those ideologies about women, demystifying the myth around womanhood is what we call rebranding.
Rebranding
Yes,
yourself
yes.
as a woman. Okay, so all those limitations that have been put across, you know, that women cannot do this, it's all about what women cannot do. People do not want to say what a woman can do. It's all about, okay, if she can do something, then it should be something that is, you know, diminutive, something really small. It's believed that women cannot do big things. They can't even cross certain boundaries. That's actually what we are seeking to, you know, change the narrative about. Okay, so now that you've given us a little bit of background about what one's brand is and what it means to rebrand yourself, which is to change the narrative, change the story, and make people begin to view you in a different way that is better than the way they used to view you before. We would want to cast our mind back to how this brand actually was attached to a woman. And it brings my mind to what we saw in the news just today, and it came out yesterday on the BBC, and it was being said that a renowned man of God in one of the neighboring countries here in Africa is really, you know, advocating for bachelors to, you know, get married to women who can cook, women who can do chores, not women who are lazy. So it looked like this particular man of God has relegated women to a certain level. So this is to say that the brand that a woman always had in the past is deeply rooted in our culture and in religion. Karl Marx also said that religion is the opium of the masses. So a lot of people believe in their faith. What would you say about rebranding and where we find it originating from, you know, through our culture and, you know, faith? Do you think that it's possible to actually rebrand the woman, knowing very well that culture and religion is something we hold dearly here in our society?
Yes, it's very possible to rebrand women. You know, once upon a time in the Bible, there was an information Moses brought to women. And then the message was that women could not inherit. And then there were some women, 5 women, who became very, very uncomfortable about what Moses said, that women could not inherit. Because, yes, so the daughters of Zelophehad came and they challenged the status quo. They came to Moses and said, yes, this is what you have told us, but we think differently. And Moses had to go back to God and then asked God, this is what the daughters of Zelophehad had said. And God changed that narrative for them. So rebranding, whether religiously or in the society, can be very possible. If somebody was able to stand in the past and then the narrative changed, then we can also stand for ourselves and to change the narrative. So rebranding is very, very possible.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. So I like the fact that you've been able to defend this cause, you know, from the faith point of view.
Yes.
Because most of the people who are watching actually will be watching, you know, based on the faith that they also practice. So they could say, well, this is what we believe in, and that's, you know, what we're going to stick to. So if you're somebody who has the Christian faith, it has been told you right now that there's a portion in the Bible where 5 women got the chance to inherit, which is to say that if you dig deep, it means that a woman can also do good things for herself and be able to inherit and be economically empowered. So would you say that even though there is this practice in the Bible that once said that women can inherit or they could be economically empowered, do you think that all what has been going on about, you know, women having to be empowered and women having to rise to the occasion to be better, do you think this is going to be a long-term achievement or something you feel that we are there already?
The other time I was having a discussion with somebody, and I said that for me personally, I think there have been a lot of empowerment out there for women. Now we have a lot of opportunities that we can't close our eyes on. We are educated. Now a lot of women are achieving a lot of things. They are achieving big things just like our men. And so what we need now is for our voices to be amplified.
Okay.
Enough of the women empowerment. A lot of us have been empowered through education. We have been economically empowered. Society, a lot of women have climbed out to be bosses at workplace. So we can't deny the fact that there had been a lot of empowerment, even though we still have a long way to go. We can't deny the fact that we need to be empowered more. But I think we are almost there. And what women need now is for our voices to be amplified. What is somebody doing out there? There are lots of people that are doing amazing things as women, but they are not being heard of. They have been empowered, all right, but nobody is hearing about them. So what do? I think this is the time that we are in. So it's for the voices of women to be amplified. We have to throw more light on what people are doing. We have to dig for women who are doing marvelous things and then bring them to the limelight.
Wonderfully said, because that's actually what African Women's Voices is doing. We are actually amplifying the voices of women to ensure that even as we empower women through education and skill acquisition, we get to have them heard as well. So now that we understand that we are getting there, because a lot of empowerment talks have been going on and a lot of women have risen from where they used to be. We wouldn't say that how it used to be from the past is the way it is right now. Because in the past, it used to be said that women were relegated to the kitchen and women were just baby making, you know, partners. They don't join in decisions. That's where we've come from. But today, we have women who are actually heading, you know, companies, heading their own firms. They've actually even gotten into politics. So that is to say that we've come a very long way from where we used to be before, and it's getting better. And even though we may want to ask for more, it's not been bad. So you have to accept your brand as a woman and know that we are on this path together, and definitely we are going to get to a better place every day. So what does it take to rebrand yourself? Some people will say, oh, I want to rebrand myself. Is it about showing up on social media? Or is it about changing your hairstyle? Or is it about, what do you have to do to be able to actually change the narrative about your brand?
As I said earlier on, that rebranding is getting dissatisfied about the things that work against you. Rebranding is not a show of, it's hard work. You have to really look around yourself and see what is not working on well for you, what is not working well for you. That is what rebranding is about. And for you to be able to rebrand, is changing your entire ideology. You know, growing up, we tend to pick a lot of things from our parents and the society we belong to. Some of those things are just myths. But if I always tell the children I teach, that look, if this is green and I tell you it's white from childhood, you will grow believing that it is white.
It's white.
Yes. So rebranding is not a show off, it's hard work. It's getting dissatisfied about something around you. And for you to be able to rebrand, you need to be conscious of what you want to rebrand. And rebranding takes consistency, consciousness, consistency. It takes hard work. Rebranding takes, it takes just having a vision that this is what I'm dissatisfied about and this is where I want to get to at a point in my life. So you need to be conscious that at a point in time, you have to know what you are about. And then you have to be consistent. you don't do this. I want to rebrand. Maybe let's take it that you want to you are not educated as a woman, that society have not respected you properly. You want to change it, and you say, oh no, I think education is not good for me. Like, I'm too old, or it's not going to work. Let me go into this. When you do that, there is no way you will achieve your aim of rebranding. You have to be conscious. You have to be consistent on what you do, doing the same thing over and over and over again to attain perfection.
Okay, all right. We're going to come back to you, our dear audience. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk deeply about how best to get ourselves rebranded. Do not go away. Do stay tuned. And you're welcome back. The health tip mentioned something that is very key to one's life and to a woman's health. You need to be able to go for, routine checkups with your doctor, even when you feel fine. You do not have to wait until you begin to feel a headache or stomach upset or dizziness before you get to see the doctor. Sometimes it may be too late when you get to see the doctor. So let's develop that habit of going to see our doctors for the checkup. So just before we went on the break, we were talking about how we're going to rebrand ourselves. We talked about how the brand of the woman used to be in the past, which had to do with the fact that women were not able to cross certain limits. They were relegated to the background. They couldn't even inherit. That is to say, a lot of them were not economically empowered. But today, the narrative is changing, and that's what we are also contributing to here on the African Women's Voices show. So we got to the point where I asked Faith to let us know how one can rebrand herself. And one of the things she spoke about is that you need to do things in repetition. So you do not just say, I want to rebrand myself. You do one thing today and tomorrow you want to change and do something else. If you've decided that you want to follow this particular path, you just need to be consistent and repeat and repeat. Even if people behave like they are not noticing what you're doing, they actually see it, but they will just behave like, okay, we don't see it. Stop it, and then you find out that a lot of people will approach you and say, but why have you stopped? We were enjoying what you were doing. So repetition is key when you want to rebrand yourself, okay? So continuing the conversation, what again should we do to be able to rebrand ourselves?
Yeah, it's to be able to rebrand yourself, you have to, as I said, you have to be consistent. You have to be conscious.
You have to be conscious.
Conscious of what you are about. What am I trying to say? To be conscious of what you are about means you are focused on what you want to do. It's like a child in a class. Permits me to speak more because I'm a teacher.
Okay.
Yeah, so more of a classroom scenario is like you put a writing book in front of a child, and then the child writes one and sits to play. The child writes and plays. You see that the child is not concentrated, and the child is not conscious of whatever work you have given him or her. So at the end of the day, it's not going to achieve or the objective view the teacher has for him or her. So whatever we do as women, you have to be conscious, put your mind to it. You have to be resilient about what you are doing. That no matter what you have put your mind in achieving something, and nothing can stop you from achieving that.
Okay.
Yes.
So when we talk about consciousness to bringing it to the lives of women, we could talk about the fact that we want to be known as people who keep to time. Yes. Because, timekeeping is a very difficult thing that, across Africa, we have that problem. Yes. We are not able to say, okay, we'll get somewhere at 8 p.m. and we are there at 8 p.m. At least the people who actually keep to time most of the time is the media. If we say a program is coming on air at this time, we stick to it. But when it has to do with human interaction, then the case is very different. So since people are able to catch up with their flight, if they say the flight is taking off at a certain time, it means that people can actually make a conscious effort to, be known for timekeeping. So if you're a woman and part of the rebranding that you want to do of yourself is about being conscious of time, maybe you're somebody who used to be late, so everybody knows that you're a perpetual latecomer. If anything should be done, they can't just involve you if it has to be done early because you'll not be able to show up. It means that, one, from the tip you've given, we have to, on a repetitive state, we have to always make sure that we get to wherever we need to be on time. We do it today, we do it tomorrow, even when we go to those places and somehow people are not there, just stick to it and keep repeating it. Over time, people will begin to respect you and know that you carry a brand of punctuality.
Yes, it's true.
So if you want to carry the brand of punctuality, this is one way of getting yourself to be seen for that. You need to be able to practice it consistently and make it a conscious effort. If it used to be your makeup that used to delay you, start early. If it used to be child care that would delay you, start early. If it was transportation, factor it into your program and know that it will take me like 1 hour or 90 minutes to get here. So I need to start my makeup at this time. I need to pick up the transport I'll be using at this time so that I can get there at this time. So it means that if you are looking at rebranding yourself, you also need to look into how people are perceiving you and how it works out for you. If it's about honesty, people ought to be able to see you in scenarios around honesty, and then they can tag you as somebody that is honest. And you do not need to be the one who is going to be saying to people, I am honest. Right? Yes. So it means if you rebrand yourself properly, you will not be the one to say, I am honest. You will rather be the one that people will see and say, she is honest. You don't need to even say it because it will just be written all over you that there's honesty around you because you've engaged people on different occasions and they didn't have cause to say that you were dishonest with them. Do you have any more tip to share with us?
And one more tip is that you have to be resilient.
Resilient.
A lot of times when you start, like when I started my NGO, a lot of people said NGOs are money-making avenues. You hear a lot of voices as a woman.
Oh,
that
yes. I have actually heard it because it's more like they say that for those who set up NGOs, maybe you've tried to look for a job and it's not coming. So you just have to set it up because you just get, foreign donors having to send you money to get you sorted. So that's not the case.
That is not the case. So that is why you have to have resilience as a woman that is trying to rebrand or make impact. You are going to hear a lot of voices, but you don't allow those voices to deter you from what you want to achieve. So you have to be strong. You have to be solid. If you are somebody that is easily carried away by the talks of people, by the thoughts of people around you, you can't rebrand your life. You will just be where you are. So you have to have resilience. You have to have confidence. It really takes a lot to try to change something about yourself. It's really difficult. So you have to be very resilient that no matter what somebody thinks, no matter what somebody is saying, no matter what society, no matter what is trying to limit me, either economical, if it's society, the friends around me, you have to be strong. Resilience. That is one key thing.
If you want to rebrand yourself, resilience is key too, because you're going to be hearing so many voices in your head that will be telling you that you can't do this. And remember where we are coming from. We are women. It keeps coming. We are women. Just don't forget, you're a woman. You're not supposed to do all these things. You have to settle down. So remember, we're not saying that you need to be overbearing or you have to be rude to people because you are trying to build your personal brand. That's not the case. We are talking about having to do things, repetitively. We're also looking at you being conscious of the fact that you have decided to follow this path and you are consciously making efforts to ensure that you remain on that path. And then the third point that has been made is that you have to be resilient, that even if situations waver you or make you feel like you can't do this, you just have to still remain focused. So does that mean that sometimes if you are not educated, you cannot rebrand yourself? Must you be educated to rebrand yourself?
You don't have to be educated to rebrand yourself.
Okay.
We have been mentioning this over and over in our conversation that it's just getting dissatisfied about something around you. So lack of education is not the only thing that can relegate you to the back as a woman. You get it? So education, even though it's key, they say it's key. But personally, I have seen a lot of women that are not educated, but has challenged the status quo and have broken that barrier that limits women. So education necessarily shouldn't be one thing if you
That
don't
will
have it
deter
yet,
you
deter you
from
from achieving whatever
okay.
you want to become
All
as
right.
a
So
woman. Yes.
I think I really like what you're saying about education part. So we want to let you know that it's not all about classroom, okay? Awareness is also part of how you get to know how to rebrand yourself. So do not say, okay, as for rebranding, it's just for all those corporate women or those ones who have gone through school. It's not for me. Even if you've not gone to school, the awareness we are providing you right now is enough to get you to decide to want to rebrand yourself. We are going for another quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Do stay tuned. Well, Michelle Obama has said it all, as if she heard what we were saying. She just said to us right now in the spiritual code segment that success is not all about the money you're making, but it's about the difference you're making in the lives of people. So what kind of brand do you want to carry? I'm sure a lot of us want to carry a brand that makes difference in the lives of people. That is the reason why we are letting you know that you can reposition yourself to be able to achieve that. People begin to see you as one who keeps changing people's lives, adding smiles to their, to their hearts, to their faces, just being there as a very good friend consistently. This is what is going to make women, better than we are right now, when we are seen as people who are changing lives and changing the world, not as people who have just grown wings and have become arrogant and will not want to listen to reason. That's not the kind of woman we are looking for. We are looking for women who are going to be positive change makers, and it starts today. Okay, thanks to African Women's Voices, we are sharing some tips about how to get ourselves rebranded from what we used to be before. All right, we're going to be opening the phone lines very soon, and I know that a lot of people are arguing right now in their homes, wherever it is they are watching me from right now, and you want to make a contribution around rebranding yourself as a woman. Fine, we'll open the phone lines very soon, and then you get to contribute whatever it is that you have on your mind, okay? All right, so now that we've discussed resilience, consistency, repetition, and all of that, is there anything else we need to add to it? And the fact that awareness is very key. You just do not have to think that because you are not educated, it means you cannot rebrand yourself. No, that's not how it is. So is it also about, cleanliness? Because your presentation also has to be part of it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I know some people may not get the chance to be able to go to the spa every week or once a month and all of that. So it means that they can, present themselves better in their own little way.
Yes.
Even if you don't get to go to the spa, we need to have you, maintain good personal hygiene. Your mouth should smell well, your hair, your body, they all should be well packaged to make you present yourself as a very good brand that people will want to associate with. But there's a question I also like to ask here. It's, I was just thinking around the fact that, okay, if we say that we want to rebrand ourselves, well, and that we want to also show that we can, cross certain boundaries and limitations that have been already, imposed on us somehow by religion or our culture, what happens to ladies first? What happens to ladies first? Because I enjoy ladies first. The fact that, your partner is taking you somewhere and then, they open the door for you. All those gentlemen, curtsies that we have to enjoy. What happens to all those things?
When we talk about rebranding, nothing changes.
Nothing changes,
Nothing
right?
changes when it comes
So
to...
we get to still enjoy all those curtsies.
Rebranding, it's collaborating with the men around us. It's not, as I said earlier, it's not war against men.
Okay.
It's collaborating with the men around us to have a better life. So when any woman that calls herself a feminist comes to you to tell you that rebranding or feminism is about war against men, the person is virtually lying to you.
Yeah.
It's collaborating with your man, no matter how high you are or low your husband is or your partner is, you have to collaborate. You bring diversity, together. There are a lot of things. You think this way, I think this way. You are a man, I'm a woman. We think different. But end of the day, we come together as
to
one.
cooperate and
Yes,
collaborate,
and that
you know,
nothing changes.
for a peaceful
Yes,
society.
because it's not war against men. I'm just making my life better, and that, what has that got to do with
I think we get that
nothing
point. So
changes.
it's not about
Yes,
war against men. It's
yes.
just making our lives better and, you know, having to live in harmony with our male partners as well. And for them to be able to appreciate us as a person and as people who can also support them and do things, you know, just like the way they also do. So it means that all those curtsies that we used to enjoy, we still want to enjoy those curtsies. Get to open the door for us, you know, and all that. It's really nice. Okay. All right. So I also saw something that was also going around on social media. Part of the reason why we are discussing rebranding yourself. There was this funny post which actually got my attention. I don't know if producer is able to put that post up for us to, you know, see. It was talking about, you know, a particular firm looking for women who would come and move bags of cement, you know, from their trucks for them. And they were saying that the pay is very attractive. How many women will be interested in doing this kind of job? And it was so funny because the comments that kept coming, it looked like a lot of women were not ready to do that. So does it mean that women are more interested in the goodies of what would you have to say about that kind of post? Women, we've not really seen them having to, you know, offload stuff from trucks.
I have not seen one cement. That is what we're talking about here. But you know, there are some women that are really strong. Some people are really, really, really strong. So if that is what I'll have to do for a pay, and I think I will manage. Because you and some women are strong. What about our females who carry loads for people and all those stuff? Some are strong.
The
So
kaya
some,
years,
yes,
you
the
know.
kaya years, they can do it.
Yeah, that's
some
true.
Women can
you know,
do
the
it.
kaya years actually
Yes.
are mostly women, and they are really, really strong. They could carry several things and move, you know, with a lot of dexterity.
So if it comes to money, I think some people will want to manage.
Yeah, if it comes to money, some of us will want to manage, okay? All right, so that's quite interesting. But now, as we're talking about rebranding ourselves and repositioning ourselves, what would you say to the people who have gotten to a certain ladder and, you know, it looks like it's gotten inside of them? Because sometimes we are accused as women that when we climb the ladder, we kind of look down on men. Well, I think it has to do with people's personality. I don't think it's a woman thing because there are also men who are arrogant. What do you have to say about this?
You know what I want to say about women climbing ladder and looking men upon others is that whatever you have as a woman is just a privilege. That is what you have to keep in mind. That whatever God has made you, whatever you have gotten to, if you understand it as a privilege, then you'll be humbled by it. Because why is it didn't go to anybody, but it came to you? It's just a privilege. If you have climbed so high at your workplace, it's just a privilege. If you have gotten billions, it's just a privilege. It's just a privilege that good thing came to you. So as women, what I want to tell those of us that has really gotten proud of our achievements is that whatever came to your doorstep would have gone to somebody. God just privilege, it's just a privilege it came to you. So let's try to be humbled by whatever we have achieved.
Okay.
Because it's just a privilege.
All right, I accept that it's a privilege, and also I also want to let people also know that in my view, I feel that it doesn't have to do with only women.
Yes.
Okay, it has to do with personality. So depending on your personality, you may see your achievement in a certain light. So people should stop labeling women as people who once they climb up means they're going to look down on people. It's a personality thing and not a women thing. Okay? All right, so we'll be going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we are going to be opening the phone lines. We want to open it up early today so that we get a lot of you talking to us about what you feel about repositioning yourself. It could be a question, it could be a contribution, you know, whatever it is, we want to hear from you, okay? So do stay tuned. Tackles issues pertaining to women as we contribute to national development. So just before we went on the break, we were talking about how best a woman can rebrand herself and the fact that when people climb the ladder as women and somehow it's perceived that they are looking down on their male counterparts, it's not a woman thing. It's just a personality thing. So let's not attribute it to a woman or to a man. When men rise, they're arrogant. When women rise, they're arrogant. Any of them could be arrogant. It just has to do with the kind of person that you are. I also said I was going to be opening the phone line so that you call in and give us your contribution. The phone number right now is 05555 657278. 0555 657278. So give us a call right now. We want to hear your contribution around rebranding yourself as a woman. All right, so Faith, coming back to you, I was going to say, even though we appreciate the fact that as women we need to rebrand ourselves, you know, and we need to get people to perceive us better than the way they used to perceive us, and you know, we are trying to put ourselves together to market ourselves better. Even politically right now, we have a lot of women coming into that field. We have women who are into architecture, women who find themselves in areas that have been dominated by men. Women are doing a whole lot of things to prove that, looking back at where we are coming from and where we are today, we have come a long way, and together we are moving to, you know, provide a better society where we have women. Do you think women are their own enemies? It's a controversial issue. I just want to know your take on this.
Personally, I don't want to believe and accept that generalization.
Okay.
Women, we are not our own enemies, because I've seen a lot of women that have pushed other women to the top.
Okay.
I have seen women help each other to the top. My life is a testimony. I have benefited from the kindness of a lot of women,
okay,
and making what I do better. So I don't accept that generalization that women we are own enemies.
Really?
Women are supporting each other in a lot of ways, but that is just unfortunate that sometimes things have to go to a certain line, but that does not make us enemies to ourselves.
Yes, so you don't actually believe in that. What do you think? Do you think that women, we pull ourselves down, or you think we rather cooperate and, you know, move better? I want to hear from you. The phone lines are jammed, but you still have to try and get through. Okay. All right. So I'd like to go through some of the messages that you're sending to me, and it's been good. And one of the messages I've gotten right now is from Love. Love, you are watching us from Nungwa, and you said, oh, I'm watching you live, and I must say I'm enjoying today's program on rebranding for today's woman. Keep up the good work. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Love, from Nungwa. We really appreciate what you just sent to us. And then I'm also seeing another message here from somebody. She says that she's Priscilla. And the message goes this way. I am so happy you're having to teach us about rebranding ourselves. I've actually noticed that when I come into the midst of my friends, they all pull away from me. And I want to take a good look at myself again. I'll find somebody whom I trust, and I'll ask the person if the person has observed something that is not too good about me, so that I can get my friends to come around me. Priscilla, you are actually watching us from Tamale, and I want to say, yes, I'm very happy that this program has made you to think of, you know, being conscious of yourself. So we have a first caller right now. Hello.
Faith. It's words of encouragement.
Okay, please go ahead. What's your name?
My name is Nenko.
Wow, and where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Ashalaja.
Ashalaja. Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So please give us that word of encouragement.
Yes. I really love what Faith is doing, the rebranded lady.
Wow.
She's my sister. I am watching her live, and I want to tell her that she should continue what she's doing.
Good. More
grease to her elbow. We are supporting her. We love her. We are supporting her.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, so much love. Oh my God, this is so much love from Ashalaja. So they are appreciating exactly what it is that you have done for them, and that's really good to know. It means that, just like you said, women are supporting themselves. You are using the Rebranded Lady NGO of yours to support other women. Okay, I also have other messages here, and this one is from a gentleman. He says his name is Abubakar, and he's actually watching us from Laura. He says, I like the conversation and where it is going. I am happy that you are talking about not being arrogant to men. You are talking about how to better empower yourself and how to live in harmony with your male partners. Keep up the good work. All right, Joanna, hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, talk to us. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Afariwa.
Afariwa.
And yes.
Okay, talk to us.
And I'm a proud member of the Rebranded Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very proud of my boss.
Okay.
And I hope that this thing goes very far. And if anyone is watching and would want to be a member, we are open to all kinds of membership.
Okay.
Call us at any time and we'll be at your service.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much, Joanna.
All right, bye.
Beautiful. Okay, I've also gotten another message from Mauli. Mauli, well, I don't know if it's a guy or, okay, he's a gentleman. He says, I'm a married man and I'm going to let my wife keep watching the African Women's Voices show because it is a show that is teaching women how to live in harmony with their male partners. We really appreciate this program. Thank you so much. You are actually watching us from the Volta region. We appreciate. And if you are someone who has been trying to call in and you couldn't get through, please send through your messages. We'll be very happy to read them and also respond to them, okay? So we have to be wrapping up right now because it's almost time. And we've got some very nice packages that our sponsors have access to give to you, Faith. The first package is coming from our hydration partner, that's Vortic. Vortic has said that we should give you some packs of water so that you get yourself hydrated as you go about your rebranding of women initiatives. Thank you so much, Vortic. We also have another package for you from Yamvita. Wow. Yamvita knows that, wow, breastfeeding is very good for babies from 0 to 6 months, and then after 6 months you begin to feed your baby with Yamvita. So please, that baby of yours, we want you to start up with Yamvita with the baby. We've got the maize and we have the wheat flavor of Yamvita. So Chana Sheto also is a sponsor of this program. So Chana Sheto says we should give you also a parcel of our tasty Chana Sheto, our #1 pepper sauce. Okay, so it means that now you've gotten something from Yamvita, from Vortic, from Chana Sheto, and our caterer #1, Albi Bite. Look for her on Instagram. Albi Bite also says we should present this beautiful cake to you, our guest. And on the cake we've written many thanks from the AWV show. That's what we've said on it. And we are very happy to present to you a cake from Albi Bite. So cake is part of what Albi Bite also prepares. And we are expecting you to put across those orders. Look for her on Instagram and put that orders coming, okay? I will not forget the one who has taken care of my lovely hair, Awo's hair. Find her on Instagram and she would actually sort you out when it comes to your hair needs. So the repeat broadcast of this program will be broadcast on Saturday at 12 noon. So if you were not able to start with us at 8 p.m. today,